The doll in the attic. As soon as Emma and her family moved into their new house, she knew something was off. The old Victorian mansion had a creepy vibe, and Emma couldn't shake off the feeling that she was being watched. She chalked it up to her overactive imagination and tried to settle in, but things quickly took a chilling turn. One day, while exploring the house, Emma stumbled upon a locked door in the hallway. She was curious and determined to find out what was behind it. After searching for the key, she finally unlocked the door and stepped inside the dusty attic. The air was musty and cobwebs hung from the rafters. As Emma's eyes adjusted to the dim light, she saw a small old-fashioned doll sitting on a chair in the corner. Its porcelain face was cracked, and its glassy eyes seemed to follow her. Emma shuddered, feeling uneasy. She had always been afraid of dolls, and this one gave her an eerie feeling. Ignoring her fear, Emma approached the doll to get a closer look. She noticed a note attached to it that read, "This doll belonged to Emily, who died in this house in 1875. She loved this doll dearly, and it has been passed down through generations. Beware, for Emily's spirit may still linger." Emma dismissed the note as a prank, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that the doll was watching her. She decided to put the doll away in a box and hide it in the attic, hoping to forget about it. But strange things started happening in the house. Emma would hear footsteps in the middle of the night, and her belongings would go missing, only to reappear in odd places. She also started having nightmares about the doll, with its cracked face and glassy eyes haunting her in her sleep. Emma's parents brushed off her concerns as an overactive imagination, but Emma was convinced that something was wrong. One day, she couldn't resist the temptation and went back to the attic to check on the doll. To her horror, she found the box empty, and the doll was nowhere to be seen. Panicked, Emma searched the house frantically, calling out for the doll, but there was no sign of it. She started feeling as if she was being watched all the time, and her fear escalated. One night, as Emma was home alone, she heard a soft tapping on her bedroom window. She cautiously approached it and saw the doll standing outside, staring at her with its cracked face and glassy eyes. She screamed and slammed the window shut, but the doll's presence continued to haunt her. Emma decided to investigate the doll's history further. She researched the house's past and discovered that Emily, the girl mentioned in the note, had died in the house under mysterious circumstances in 1875. Legend had it that her spirit still lingered, seeking revenge for her untimely death. Desperate to rid herself of the doll's presence, Emma sought help from a local paranormal investigator. The investigator confirmed that the house was indeed haunted, and the doll could be a vessel for Emily's spirit. He performed a cleansing ritual to banish the spirit, but the doll remained. As Emma's fear and anxiety escalated, she knew she had to confront the doll once and for all. She went back to the attic, armed with a candle and a lighter. She found the doll sitting on the chair, staring at her with its glassy eyes. Emma took a deep breath and lit the candle, holding it up to the doll. "What do you want?" she demanded, her voice trembling. The doll's cracked face seemed to contort into a sinister smile, and it spoke in a soft, eerie voice. "I want my life back," the doll whispered, its voice sending chills down Emma's spine. "I was taken from this world too soon, and my spirit has been trapped in this doll ever since." Emma's heart raced as she listened to the doll's haunting confession. She realized that Emily's spirit was indeed trapped in the doll, seeking revenge for her untimely death. Emma felt a pang of sympathy for the restless spirit, but she knew she had to find a way to release it and put an end to the haunting. Summoning her courage, Emma approached the doll with the lit candle. She spoke softly to Emily, expressing her understanding and empathy for her plight. She promised to help her find peace and asked for forgiveness on behalf of whoever had wronged her. The doll's glassy eyes seemed to soften, and the cracks on its porcelain face faded. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the attic, and the doll vanished before Emma's eyes. Emma was left standing in the attic, feeling a sense of relief and closure. The house felt lighter, and the eerie presence that had plagued her for weeks had dissipated. She knew that Emily's spirit had finally found peace and moved on. From that day on, Emma felt at ease in her new home. The nightmares stopped, and the strange occurrences ceased. She had learned to respect the power of the supernatural and the importance of seeking forgiveness and understanding towards restless spirits. As the years passed, Emma grew up and moved away from the old house, but she never forgot the doll in the attic. She often wondered if it had found its way to someone else, or if it had moved on to the afterlife. Nevertheless, she cherished the lessons she had learned from her eerie encounter with the doll and the ghostly presence that had once haunted her. Years later, when Emma returned to her hometown to visit her parents, she couldn't resist the urge to revisit the old house. She went up to the attic, and to her surprise, she found the doll sitting on the chair, looking exactly as it had years ago. Emma smiled, feeling a sense of gratitude towards the doll for the lessons it had taught her. She decided to take the doll with her, hoping to find a proper resting place for it. As she held the doll in her hands, she felt a sense of peace and closure. She thanked Emily's spirit for the lessons learned and promised to keep her memory alive in a respectful way. Emma eventually found a museum that was interested in displaying the doll as part of their paranormal exhibit. She donated it, and the doll took its place among other haunted artifacts. Over time, stories of the doll in the attic spread, and it became a popular attraction at the museum. Visitors would often report feeling a sense of unease when standing near the doll, and some claimed to have seen its glassy eyes follow them. But Emma knew that Emily's spirit had finally found peace, and the doll in the attic had become a testament to the power of forgiveness and understanding in the face of the supernatural.